Hello everyone, this is Stefan from Lush and Salty Aquariums. How are we doing? All right, well, first of all, we're not looking at an aquarium and we're not inside the house. We're in my backyard, which overlooks this fabulous sort of beginnings of hillscape in Northern California. You see a retaining wall that was built back there about in the 90s. There was a flood that came down that ravine, and so all that was taken care of because in my backyard could be conducive to a mudslide. Not anymore. Honestly, right now, flood's the least of our problems. It's a red flag day in California, so all that already yellowing brush, which is green a couple weeks ago, that is what we call our fire hazard. That's when you hear about this in NorCal, it's because of all that out there. Now, my danger is modest compared to others because that's low grass, it's been trimmed, it's away from the house, and there's not a ton of sage or bramble, but you can hear the wind and you can see the sun. It's gorgeous. It's on my body, feels great, but it's a little early for this sort of kind of behavior from the weather, and that's the new normal, right? I hate that phrase, but there it is. So I'm in the backyard not just to get on some sort of rant and let you be subjected to these winds, but because I wanted to show you some stuff that I'm doing outside. I'm walking to it right now. I'm going to flip the camera even though it's on self mode and hope that I get the best, because I don't want to deal with editing later. I want to go straight to YouTube with this vid and not have to figure out editing. It's just, anyway, who cares, right? So down here, what you're seeing are my Daphnia mosquito larvae, and that red tank there is going to be where I put some endlers and maybe least killifish. The water was started with green cultures. Green water, you just tap water outside for a bunch of days and the sun does the rest of it. Then I moved those containers over towards the side of the house, so while it's getting sun now, it doesn't for a lot of the day, and at night it gets very cool in California, thank God. And perfect weather right now for Daphnia and all these other little creatures, including mosquito larvae, which are bad, but I use them for food, and so they're good. Now I'm going to go in close, and I'm hoping, and I'll check this, but you can see all those adult red Daphnia magna. I got a culture a couple weeks ago, and I spread it out over this tank or this bucket, the other ones, as well as one inside. And these bigger adults hang to the side, and while you can't see it, in the middle of that yellow-green water are a zillion juveniles and just hatched ones, which is an awesome sign. That means I have a viable culture. These cultures can crash, and they do, and I had no luck in the winter, even though it doesn't freeze. This one has less, but they're in there, trust me. And over in here I checked, and there's some larger larva, mosquito larva. Watch, see that there? Boom! I hope you caught that. That's a mosquito larva. There's a bunch of baby ones in here, which I will retrieve to feed to all my small-mouthed fishes that can constitute everything from the guppies to the tetras, and to fry. Super high in protein, live food, triggers the feeding response. It's awesome. So get your green water, move the buckets over. I put a real simple bubbler effect. It's modest. You can, there, see, it's very modest. And you don't want much, if any. You could get by without any, but on a day when it gets over 90, I like to get some oxygen in the water. You can see it over here and here. Now this one doesn't, and ironically it has the most Daphnia. Once you get that, get your culture from eBay, 10, 20 bucks, maybe a little more depending, and transfer it as you would a fish. Acclimate for temperature, you could, and then just plop and drop. You're not worried about ick or anything, so you just want the water parameters to be similar. And Daphnia like cooler water, but not too cold, or they just won't reproduce and they'll be lethargic and dormant. Too hot, they'll perish. You'll get a crashed culture. You might get a crashed culture anyway. Overfeeding can be a problem. I feed, what do you call it, spirulina powder, not flakes, and I swirl the powder into a cup of distilled water or tank water and just drop it in every other day to each of these tanks, and a lesser amount to the one I have inside. You don't want to overfeed. When the water gets clear, you do it again. That means they've fed on the spirulina. And those adults are fat and red, and I'm sure they're going to be making babies constantly. Eventually I'll have to deal with some sort of water change, but I'm kind of in the less is more camp, and I just add tank water as it evaporates. I hope this video is helpful, that you can see the damn thing and hear my voice, because I've got the camera turned away from me. Otherwise, here, I'm going to flip it around and boom, back at 6 minutes and counting. There you go. There I am. You can see me. I'm wearing a summer clothes. Not exactly office friendly, but we're not in the office, right? We're taking care of our fish. We're outside, and it's spring, going to turn into summer. As usual, keep your hands in the tank. Get outside. Pray for rain if you're here. Lack of rain if you're where there's too much, and you get my drift. All right, everybody. Ciao for now.